it's Shannon, and today we'll be making a hearts fold over double brim beanie, and we will be specifically getting into how to make the hearts using your knitting machine. I will be using a king size Addi today, and I'm just starting by casting on my main color, which will be red for this project. And then I will be doing 135 rows of the red to start the body. Once you have finished your 135 rows of your main color, you're going to want to take your contrasting color, which would be the color of your hearts. I'm going to be doing white, and you're going to want to attach it to either your starting peg or your second peg. I'm going to attach it to my second peg just because the Addi has 3 colored black pegs, so I'm going to just start in the center. Feel free to start yours on the first, and then just take your main color out of the feeder, and you're going to want to grab both colors and go very slowly when you first start to make sure that the white is down, and just go back and forth between the 2 colors. I use my hand and hold both pieces and kind of flip my hand over and under. As you practice this more, it'll become more fluent to you. And just keeping that going until the end of the row. Once you get to the end of your row, you're going to want to put your main color back in your feeder and just go slowly to make sure that it catches, and just do 1 row of your main color. And then you will stop right before, as you see the white underneath, you're going to pull it out, and that's going to be your cue to pull it out and start the alternating again with your stitches, making sure that you're going the opposite stitches of your last time you did this to make sure that the hearts are not in the same rows. And I keep my yarn in the center just to kind of keep it out of the way. It's a good place to put it, and it helps kind of make sure that your 2 yarn strands don't get too tangled. once you get to the end of the row, again, you're gonna put your main color back in your feeder. I like to put it back in. I think it's helpful, making sure that that first stitch catches, and then going around again for one row. Once you see that first white stitch, you're going to want to go back and start the process over, and you're going to start it right in the very next stitch, the white, and then alternating again. And you're going to want to repeat this process until your machine is at a total of 155 rows. Once you've gotten to 155 rows, you want to take your main color and just do 5 more rows of your main color only. And your machine's at about 160 rows total, you're going to want to cast off. I like to attach my needle right away, putting it in the center, and then just going slowly around that one turn to start to cast off. Taking my needle and going around and taking each stitch off of the pegs. Stitches off the pegs. have our hat off the machine, I like to cinch up my end, take the needle right out, and I like to turn my hearts inside out so that when I'm sewing that they're not facing me. Aligning the two ends, cinching the other end as well. Now there are many ways to close beanies from a knitting machine. This is just the way I like to do it. You don't have to do it this way, but this is just the way I do it. And then I like to cut the tails so that they're a little more even. That'll probably get the needle through. So just straightening the cinching out, that's what I'm kind of focusing on right now. And this looks like a messy process right now, but I'm just basically folding it over so that the beanie is not cinching where it's pulling its fabric up, if that makes sense. In a second you'll be able to have a better view of that, but making sure the two tails line up together, and then just using my fingers to make sure that it doesn't close completely, so it's open still a little bit. And aligning the edges, as you can see right here, they're open about 2 inches, but the edges are pretty much aligned. Going back in to thread the needle once more. And sometimes the yarn just doesn't want to work with you. And then what I like to do is I like to take my needle, stick it in the very top of the cinch of each side, going in and out, and then cinching both tops together, if that makes sense, as you can see here. Making sure to get as close to the top edge as possible so that I'm not grabbing too much of the beanie. And then once I get to the end, I like to pull it nice and tight. And then I like to pull one of the ends out, pulling it super tight so that it closes, and then just sewing it across and tying a knot in it to secure the top and pulling it so it's tight. Just sewing the end off and flipping it inside out, and that's it. That's your hearts. There are your hearts, and then just folding over your brim to have your beanie. Enjoyed this tutorial. Be sure to check me out on my other socials and visit my website shannoncreatesdesigns.com. Thanks for watching.